All right. I hope I'm all right. Um, I hope I'm. Yep. Yeah. I think I can hear myself. All right. This is great. This is this is great. I think I can hear myself. All right. This is great. This is this is great. I hope there's no echo coming through. This is great. I hope there's no echo coming through. I hope there's no echo coming through. There is, isn't it? I hope there's no echo coming through. There is, isn't it? I hope people can hear me. 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 Let me just try putting this into putting this into. Okay, let's see. Let's see now if it helps any at all. Okay, I think this is great. Okay, so we are in. Um, Welcome back to another stream. This is another exciting weekend. It's been an exciting weekend, to be honest. Obviously, Montreal and Halifax game was much more interesting than I thought it would be. It was also a very tight game. That was more expected. I think that I was uh, glad that I wasn't too off from that prediction. Definitely a much more close game between Vancouver and Toronto. Ended 1-1. I do need to catch up on the details of that. I haven't gone through the game yet, but saw the goals. Man, that goal by Kazaki was absolute beauty. So yeah, no, it's been a very exciting weekend. I think Vancouver and Toronto was the main matchup, but this is going to be another really fun matchup because they're two very close sides, Calgary and Ottawa. I- I'm excited for it because they're mid-table, both mid-table, but both have shown a lot of fight, which is always good to see, and both are equally matched in a lot of ways, I would say. So this should be a really fun matchup. I'm excited for what Calgary can bring into the mix. I'm just going to make sure that my stream is, as in my game feed, is working correctly before we get started. So give me just a minute. The lineups are out, so I do have to talk about that as well. A big change with Stella Downing coming in. I'm super excited for that. But yeah, what I do want to make sure that the streams are up before we take start talking about those things. Let's see. I think it's on. If I'm not mistaken, it's on TSN1. So let me just make sure the right channel. Okay. Okay, yeah, we still have a few minutes here, so I don't think it'll start exactly, before that. So yeah, let's talk about the lineups. Big two changes. I think there's one change in each team, so that's why I mentioned two. But each team has made one change. Let's start with Calgary, and Madison Wilson comes in for Tegan Stewart in midfield, which was kind of something that I expected. I didn't expect Madison Wilson to come in, but I did expect Tegan Stewart to maybe be changed in for maybe Sarah O'Neill. or someone like that. Sonia O'Neill, sorry. But seems like Madison Wilson gets her first start, if I'm not mistaken. So hugely exciting for her. They do need some help in that, center attacking mid position. That's where she's probably going to slot in. We'll find out where she goes in. So that's a big change. And the bigger change, which I was so stoked to see, was on the Ottawa side, which is Stella Downing. Stella Downing is gonna be it's gonna be so fun to watch. I saw her last game, and I remember saying to myself, she has so much energy. As soon as she subbed in, it was a big change for Ottawa in the way they approached their offense. So she's only 22 years old, which is also, it's always fun to have youngsters come in and break in. She hasn't played internationally yet, but she has, as in like she hasn't played for the senior team yet, but she has played for the Canada under-17 team, and also has played in the CONCACAF under-17 championship. So definitely, even though she's 22, definitely has a lot of experience behind her. Has played for Memphis, Ole Miss. I think that's where she went to school. I think Ole Miss Rebels. Yeah, super excited for her speed, her energy, and I want to see how she slots in with the rest of the offense that um, Ottawa has. So those are the two changes. On one side is Stella Downing, who comes in, and on the other side we have Madison Wilson, who comes in the center mid position. So apart from that, the subs I think are going to be similar, as you can see on screen. A lot of the uh, I've put in the subs based on what I've seen in the last few games, so we will see if that's what Lydia Bedford and Katrina Peterson are going to use. No, no, guarantees there, but we will see. But I'm pretty sure that the lineups that we have here are confirmed here at this point. So we'll just wait for the feeds to come in. I think TSN is still waiting. I mean, it's not 7 yet, so I'm not surprised. Let me just do a couple of other admin stuff before we get in. You know what else I might do? Was tinkering around a little bit from last time I did this. So let me see what this would look like here. All right, so we have some crowd noise um, effects here. So let's see if that makes it even more fun to listen to. I know, as someone who watches live games and not a big fan of watch-alongs, because obviously you don't want to watch someone just talk about it. So I hope it makes it a little bit more fun for the viewers. But because I know, like, it's tough to not see the visuals, and I really wish I could show the visuals, but that kind of goes against the copyright aspect of things. But I hope this makes it a little bit more interesting. If you do find it interesting, or if you think this is just too much, just let me know. I'll just cut that background noise off if it's too annoying. But I think the feeds come on TV, so I'm gonna start seeing what they are mentioning here. It's just the pre-game shows currently. So give me 1 second. All right, so the pregame show is going on. Meanwhile, let's cover a few things for the both teams while we are at it. The two major things I want to see from Calgary, I think. Let's see here. Okay, yeah. So from Calgary, I think I talked about this last week as well when we were watching the Calgary game. Is they do have pretty good defensive shape. I am I think Michaela Moore and Rolfsma do a pretty good job of, making sure that the core is solid. Ali Green and Storty have been very impressive as well. So I think they have a very good defensive shape, especially as I mentioned, outside and center backs. They're effective at set pieces, really effective at set pieces. That's how most of their goals have come from till this point. So that's great. But that the biggest challenge they've had was the fluidity in offense, and that's probably what they have changed as well. They've brought in Madison Wilson, who I think might. Let me just make sure. I think I'm getting an error here. So. Okay. Doesn't seem like there's something. Okay. Not sure why it's giving me an error. Okay, never mind. So that's the biggest thing with their fluidity in offense, especially from open play. So let's see if they can fix that. They do need to do more on that attacking mid position. Hopefully, let's see what Madison Wilson can do to improve that. Meanwhile, and on the Ottawa Rapid side, I think the biggest change that they have made with Downing coming in will give them energy, but they also need to really work on their midfield primarily. The midfield with Scott and Gibson, I think I was mentioning last time, they were way too deep. They were giving a lot of opportunities for Bilbao and they were playing Montreal. So that was not good. So hopefully they can change that up a little bit, and especially once now that Downing comes in, they can get a little bit more help from her in tracking back. And their movement off the ball, that was the other big challenge that they had. So hopefully they can fix that and help Pridham and Lee, who have been very effective in offense and up top. So speaking of Pridham, I'm very glad to see her back. She had a bit of a concussion, seemed like a concussion. I'm not sure if it was a concussion still. So very glad to see that Pridham is healthy and back and is able to give Minna Lee that support that she very efficiently does. So those are the things I'm looking forward to. I want to see Ottawa be a lot more a lot less conservative in midfield, and I want to see Calgary. Calgary be a lot more fluid in offense with Wilson coming in. I will have my eye on Wilson to see what she does. They need help from her because Kylie Johnson and Thurton have been very effective, but they just haven't been able to get on the ball as efficiently as possible, and that has come down to that gap that they have in the forward line and between Doherty, Howard, and Savitsky, as you can see on the screen here. So hopefully they can fix that. Hopefully Madison Wilson can give them that that extra bit of momentum going forward. I'm just going to see if where we are. They're still going through the previous games. The game hasn't started yet. And if there's anything that you guys feel like, I know as I mentioned earlier in the stream here as well, there's a little bit of ambient audio that I've added to the stream just so that it's a little bit more fun for whoever's listening. If it's too much, let me know. I'll turn it off or turn it down so that people don't get too annoyed. We'll just give it a second here. I was actually curious the other day because I was talking about Downing. I was just reading up on her, and yeah, I mean she as I mentioned has played CONCACAF. She's been with Canada, though she is from. It's interesting though that she is from. She's played with Ole Miss Rebels in the U.S. and she has a marketing degree actually with a graphic design minor. That was interesting to me when I was reading about her. But yeah, very exciting to have young talent come through and add more depth to the league. I'm curious, Madison Wilson. Let's see. Madison Wilson's young too. She's 24. She's from Alberta. She's an Alberta, Calgary native. and she used to play for Iowa Hawkeyes, actually. Interesting, I didn't know that. And she's developed into a very good midfielder, at least in the Hawkeye stats that I'm looking at. Very efficient with her tackles. So good to see that. So let's hope that she makes that impact that we've just talked about in the going forward, especially. I'm curious how they play her, though. This is just a guess based on what they played last time. So it will be interesting to see how they stack up this time. Could be very different for all I know. So we'll see. It's a bit of a shame, again. I don't mean to be too critical about NSL, but the fact that there's no streaming. I was just looking up at the Reddit thread as well. There is no streaming as far as I know. At least on their website, there was no indication of a streaming option. Someone mentioned that it might be on Gem, though I didn't see it anywhere. Yeah, no, unfortunately, no YouTube live stream, which is very sad. So, anyways, I really hope going forward we'll have that. The game's about to begin, it's going to kick off. So, let's get into that. So, let me just make it central so that I can see it correctly. And yeah, Minali's on the ball. Ottawa's in their away uniform for the first time. That Windows. Someone said that it was inspired by the Windows desktop screensaver, actually, which when I looked at it, kind of did remind me of that. But anyways, Ottawa is going from left to right. They're in white, and Calgary is in their home uniform, obviously, because they are playing at McMahon Stadium for the first time. It's their first home game, which is always great to see, though Ottawa is already in their half, but cleared away by Calgary. It's always great to see home crowds coming in. I heard it was sold out. I'm not entirely sure about that, but it's always fun to have people play at home, and it's surprising that Calgary couldn't play at home yet. So good to see. Okay, yeah. Craig Tremor's saying they stream on Gem on their YouTube channel, but yeah, it is sad that it is not there. Unfortunately, that's actually one of the reasons why I was like, okay, let me just stream this game. I was gonna do Montreal since I'm a Montreal fan, but I was like, okay, let me do this game instead because it's more needed than anything else. So I hope this helps, everyone out there. So let me just go to the game here. Give me 1 second. Okay. All right, so Ottawa has a throw in pretty deep in Calgary's half. Let me just bring up my screens here. All right. Cool. So Stordy, once again, Calgary stolen the ball. Stordy's on the right-hand side. She's making a very deep run. I love what she does every time. She's very aggressive and doesn't shy away from going way up on the flanks as a right back, which is always great to see. But I guess it didn't really materialize into anything, and it's back with Eriksson. And I'm keeping an eye out for the changes. I want to see where Holland is. Where Downing is. Speaking of, actually, Holland has the ball. That's why I kind of confused those two. But Adamek has the ball. Adamek's now looking up. She has it on the left-hand side. Tries to play it in to Pridham. Pridham, once again, comes very deep, which is really nice to see, though loses out. Calgary's very good with their quick pressing till this point that I'm seeing, so very interesting to see that they're able to make sure Ottawa doesn't get enough time on the ball. All right, so it's a free kick, deep free kick for Ottawa in their own half. So Eriksson's going to come all the way out and going to probably take it. No, actually Holland's going to take it. So, oh, never mind. She thought of it, but she didn't. Anyways, I think it's back to Eriksson, who's going to boot this up way high. Doesn't actually ends up with Calgary. Savitsky, Stordy. Stordy's on the right-hand side. She tries to play a through ball for, I think that was Doherty Howard, who's pretty far up actually, but doesn't make it, and instead ends up giving it to Calgary. So Calgary has a throw-in now. So let's see what they do with that. Yeah, that's. Let me take a look at that. I want to see how deep Desiree Scott and Ellen Gibson are. Great question, a great point there, because that was one of the biggest challenges they had last game. I'm going to keep an eye out for that, especially last game with them, those two giving a lot of space for Bilbao really didn't help. And this game, if they do that same thing for Doherty Howard, can be a challenge. Anyways, the Ottawa have a throw in here, but doesn't really do a good job of that and gives it away to Calgary. Comes to Doherty Howard, and she tries to play a through ball to the left-hand side, but doesn't go. And Eriksson comes and clears that actually. So it's once again Calgary ball now. Desiree Scott, yeah, I can already see she's pretty deep once again, but I want to see where Ellen Gibson is, because if one of them stay low is fine, but if both of them stay low and give too much space for Doherty Howard or Savitsky, can be a problem. Ottawa has the ball on the right-hand side flank. Minna Lee's got it very much on the right-hand side flank, but tries to play a through ball to Downing, actually, who makes a run but doesn't get to it. Calgary cuts it out. But Ottawa wins it back. And once again with Minna Lee, plays it back to Doherty Howard. Oh, sorry, to Scott. What am I saying? To Scott, and it's backed with Ottawa defense. Harris plays to Chu. Chu's played to Downing. Downing's made a really good run on the left-hand side. Chu back to Chu. And Chu puts a ball into the 6-yard box, but great work by Bukovic to come very early and just gather that ball and not give them any chance to do anything with it. So great work there. Chu, I love that Chu is taking more onus on herself and going up a lot more on that left-hand flank for Ottawa, and she was the one who put that ball in, but great work by Bukovic to cut that off. Anyways, it's Liv Scott, and Bukovic clears that, by the way, boots it up and clears that, so it's with Ottawa again, and it's played all the way back to the Ottawa defense with Eriksson, with Harris now, with Chu. I can see Desiree Scott and Gibson are giving a lot of outlets for that defense, but I think what Calgary is doing pretty effectively is Madison Wilson and Griffith are dropping down to pretty much mark Scott and Gibson. So it's becoming a little hard for the Ottawa defense to play through, play short balls. So instead they're having to go a little longer. Oh, they did go long, went to Bukovac. Bukovac tried to distribute it, and it was a bit risky there. But anyways, Calgary is trying to clear the ball out of their half, and in the process actually end up getting a throw in here. So let's see. So Calgary's got the ball in and has actually lost it, but someone's down in the process. I think it's Gibson. I'm not sure. It's Madison Wilson on the other side, and then, yeah, I think it's Gibson. Of course, Quake, I mean, I really wish we could, everyone could see the game in person. So I hope whoever's seeing it, I'm very glad they are as well. So it's, let's hope that we have more streams in the future, on online, maybe on their YouTube channel and so on. But yeah, I think I want to see from the as you mentioned, Craig, on the Ottawa side, I want to see Gibson and Scott trying to do a better job. Oh, it was Holland actually who was down for a bit. I think she seems okay. Though she's on the sidelines now. She's trying to get back in. Should be fine, I think. Or not. No. She's just taking a breather here. The game hasn't restarted yet. The ref's like, you need to be outside and take a minute. The game needs to go on. So it's back with Calgary. Adamek takes the ball, plays it to Liv Scott. Back to Adamek actually. Back to Liv Scott. Scott back to Eriksson. Eriksson plays it out to Harris. It's in the defense, pretty much. And I'm just looking at the midfield here. Scott and Gibson have a lot of space. They need to move a lot more because they are really not giving the defense enough outlets. So the defense ends up playing a straight ball to Minali, I think, and Minali gives it out to Downing. Again, Downing makes a good run on that left-hand side, which is good for her, but it doesn't go anywhere. So turns it over to Calgary. Calgary is now building from the back. Rolsema has the ball. Rolsema tries to play it to the left-hand side to Ali Green. Ali Green to the inside. Oh, Savitsky tries to win that, but doesn't, and loses out to Minali. Minali has a lot of space in the midfield, but poor pass to intended for Downing, but doesn't get anywhere, and eventually gets cleared away by Bukovac all the way to Ottawa defense. Very, very glad that Downing is starting. I remember watching that last game, and I was very impressed by how much energy she brought. So I can already see that again. Like, she's making some very good runs. She's making herself available. So let's see how that ends up. So Ottawa has the ball, and I can see that Calgary's players pretty much playing 1-5-4 formation in defense, basically off possession, which I'm guessing is to try to neutralize the fact that Ottawa plays a bit of a 1-5-4 themselves. So they're trying to add those numbers in midfield and to counter that. I mean, if you think of Minali playing midfield, then I would say it's a 1-5-4 for Ottawa as well. Minali does drop quite deep, even though technically it's a 4-4-2 for Ottawa. So that's probably why Calgary is also trying to play 1-5-4 in defense, whereas they usually play a 4-3-3 or 3-3-4, I should say. Anyways, Calgary has the ball, throws. It's a throw-in, but it turns it over to Ottawa. Not good fluidity by Calgary in the initial few minutes here. They need to really slow the game down and try to make simpler passes. But Ottawa has a lot of the ball, I would say. They're once again building from the back. It's with Chu on the left-hand side. It's Harris. Harris plays it to I think it's Pridham. Pridham comes down deep and then tries to play a ball through for Adamek on the right-hand side, but doesn't get to her and loses out and concedes a throw-in for Calgary. Not bad. They are able to... what's happening is the ball is not going through Desiree Scott or Gibson. I haven't had to call their names yet. It's more going through Minali or Pridham, who do come deeper down and collect that ball from defense. So that needs to change. That's partly because Calgary has those numbers in midfield, but also I think Scott and Gibson need to move a little bit more to make themselves available. Anyways, back to the Ottawa defense. As I've been saying pretty much all game at this point, Calgary has barely had the ball. It's with Holland to Harris. Harris tries to play to Chu and loses it in her own half. Poor pass there, and it's a throw-in for Calgary. Let's see what she can do. All right, so Calgary has the ball. It's with Savitsky. Savitsky tries to play it to Stordy's high up. Stordy plays it back to Moore. Moore's looking up. Plays a through ball for Thurton. Thurton tries to play in Savitsky. Good work. They're on the right-hand side flank. Thurton plays it back to Stordy. Back to Thurton. So she can run in at this point. Oh. Good clearance there by Ottawa. Back with Ottawa, actually. Oh, never mind. Calgary's got the ball back in there, deep in Ottawa's half. It's Stordy. Stordy's going to take her time and pull it back, all the way back in defense, and then plays it to Doherty Howard. Doherty Howard to Savitsky. In the midfield to Roltsma. Roltsma plays it to Doherty Howard, who's made a very good run into the box, but doesn't make it to her. And then goes for a goal kick. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Desi Scott, I agree with you, Craig. She's not having... I haven't had to call her name at all. Barely, and she's not... Even when Calgary is pressing up, right, which they're doing right now, Desi Scott is not in a position to kind of close down any of the opposing forwards. Anyways, Ottawa has the ball. They're deep in the Calgary half. Pridham has the ball. She tries to take a shot. Well, yeah, it's more of a shot, not a cross, but it doesn't really even get close to the target either. So I want to say it was a shot. She cuts in. Really good work till that point. She cuts in, but then tries to go for the goal, seems like. But yeah, it's pretty far away from the goal. But once again, Pridham's been a great bright spark for Ottawa. All 3 games, I would say, at this point. Every time I watch her play, she's so good with her work rate. She comes down into the midfield so much and makes herself available. All right, so it's back with Ottawa, back to the defense. I'm looking at Desi Scott and Ellen Gibson, and once again, they're going to the left flank, not centrally, partly because Savitsky and... Oh, sorry. Wilson and Griffith, as I mentioned earlier, are really closely tracking those two, Scott and Gibson. So maybe it's because of that, but they need to break that marking a little bit. Anyways, Calgary has the ball in midfield, but loses it out to Scott. Scott's got a good opportunity here. Plays a good ball to Mina Leeds. She takes a shot. Oh, just over the goal. Good work. That was really good by Scott. Scott finally gets into gets a good tackle in there. I think that was Savitsky who lost the ball. Yeah, that was Savitsky who lost the ball, and Scott gets the ball, has a lot of time to look up, plays a really good looking pass to Minali, who's making a parallel run, and then she could have done better, but I mean she was also moving pretty quickly, so not bad. That was a pretty good attempt by Ottawa overall, I would say, to create a chance there. Yeah, that was the closest they've gotten to this point. All right. Anyways, Pridham comes. Pridham's played it out to Downing. Downing is pretty much cutting in, taking a shot, but it's cleared away by Moore. Chu comes in to take the rebound, and Moore once again is there to save the day, but also to concede a corner. So it's going to go out to Chu, I think. This is again great work by Downing. They're showing the highlight of that. Downing cutting in and trying to take a shot. I think that the speed is definitely going to be a problem for Stordy with Downing, though that one look of her trying to cut in, maybe she needs a few more attempts at that to get more comfortable with it. Anyways, Chu takes the corner. Comes out to Desi Scott, tries to head it, but not strong enough, and Bukovic collects it. So nothing too worrying for Calgary, and she distributes it out to Ali Green now. Ali Green looks up. She doesn't see. She instead gives it to Adamek. Doesn't see her teammate. It's kind of in the midfield here a little bit, and and eventually ends up with Doherty Howard. Howard has a lot of space in midfield, runs with it, has Collie Johnson. Too far for Collie Johnson. Good looking pass, actually. Almost thought it was going to get to her, but it goes out for a goal kick there. Not bad. I think what's happening now is Desi Scott slowly trying to move up, and which opens up a little bit more space for Doherty Howard in the opposing direction when Calgary has the ball. So let's see how it kind of changes as the half progresses. It's 18 minutes in, and the scores are 0-0. All right. Ottawa has the ball in defense. Chu has the ball deep in her half, gives it to Gibson. Gibson back to Chu, and then now it's being played out, but eventually loses out to Calgary, and now Calgary is playing defense and going all the way back. So Moore has the ball now. Moore looks up, tries to play a ball, but that was not necessary. She wasn't being pressed, but it ends up losing out the ball to Ottawa, who themselves decide that, okay, we've had too much of the ball, let's give it to Calgary. So Ottawa has given the ball back, and Calgary is now building from back. Moore to Rolfsma, back to Moore. Savitsky looks up and looks for Johnson. No, I think that was Griffith. Griffith comes all the way to the left this time. She doesn't have any options to play a ball into the box, so she plays back, and Rolfsma loses it, and it's with Pridham. Pridham's way in the deep in the Calgary half and tries to make a run into the box and goes down in the box, but doesn't get a call. So the ref says play on, and Calgary tries to play on through Collie Johnson on to Thurton, and Thurton now has the ball deep in Ottawa's half. So she doesn't have any help, so she's going to take a minute, but Collie Johnson comes in, tries to play a ball to the midfield or towards the top of the box, but no one is there. So right now Calgary is kind of caught in no man's land in the midfield. They're trying to make something happen with Griffith playing pretty much in the midfield. As I mentioned earlier, they're playing a 1-5-4 when they don't have the ball. So Griffith's playing way too deep. What that means is she's not able to come back into attack when Calgary has a break. So they need to figure that out. Yeah, that's Pridham. That's true, Quake. Pridham did get concussed last week, and I was a little bit doubtful about her as well. But yeah, nevertheless, good to see that she's back. Meanwhile, Ottawa has the ball. Ottawa, Chu can take a shot, but straight at Bukovac, and I think that's regulation for her, but it was still a good save. Chu comes way up the field here. It was mainly through Adamek, who plays through with Downing and eventually plays it out to Chu on the left-hand side, who has an open shot, even though it was a tight angle because she was on the left flank. But yeah, Pridham, I'm glad to see that she is back. I wasn't expecting her to be back, but they need her. They really need her. She's such a important cog. She reminds me of Harry Kane, the way she plays the number 9 position. She's not at all shy to come down to the midfield and collect the ball. Anyways, it's actually out for, as I mentioned, it was out for a corner, so Chu's going to take it. The corner was off of that shot that Chu took, so Chu takes it. To the head of Scott, and it's off and above the goal and onto the roof of the goal. That was close enough. I do think that Scott should have put it on target. Let's see it one more time. She was pressed pretty hard, so that could have put her off for sure. Oh, they're calling for a obstruction by Scott on the keeper, because she was right in front of the keeper, Bukovac. They were calling for that, but either way, if she had put it on target, that would have been very, very scary for Calgary. But Scott doesn't do that, and instead now ends up with Ottawa in their own half. So we're back to building from defense. So let's see. was a good-looking cut in by Pridham. They're showing that again, where she basically takes the ball all the way to the right hand side flank and then makes a run, and eventually goes down in the box and asks for a foul, for a penalty, but doesn't get called. Anyways, it's now with Calgary, who's actually won a free kick off of the clearance that Bjukovic made from that corner. And Calgary is deep in Ottawa's half. I'm obviously guessing it's Doherty Howard who's going to take it. Because, who else? So let's see. They have a really interesting routine going on here for the free kick, and it's played to Thurton at the end of that routine, and she earns a corner. So let's see what they can do with that. I'm not sure if that. Oh wait, let me just see. My stream here got. Raven, I'm not sure if that was a reference from the game or from the stream here. Do let me know, because I am also trying to make sure that the stream is up. So if that, I hope that was more of a reference from the game. Anyways, Calgary plays through a corner, but doesn't really end up threatening the Ottawa goal. So, and it's now again with Calgary on the other side for a throw-in. Johnson takes the throw. Johnson has it back with her. Now she's looking for options on the left-hand side flank. Once again wins another throw-in. Calgary's deep in Ottawa's half on the left-hand side flank. So let's see what they can do with this. Now this time it's going to be Ali Green who takes the throw, but the refs is having none of that. Refs like, okay, wait a minute. That was not, that seemed fishy. It should be Ottawa's ball. Or wait, what happened there? She called for a water break? Oh. Oh, that's sad, Raven. Yeah, I'm. It's a mess. What can I say? It's a mess. Especially these games. Some of these games that are only being shown on TSN on TV, and for some reason ESPN Plus. I'm like, yeah, that's good, but like, you're gonna do streaming options for the US, but not for your own country, like your home country, for your own home audience. That doesn't make any sense. Make it make sense. NSL, I guess, but it's also pretty early days, so I'm not gonna be too critical on them. But we gotta make it heard. You know, we gotta get them to listen to these things and do a better job. I'm very glad that they're doing YouTube streams. So glad for that. More people see it, more more awareness, more fan following, obviously. But let's see. I'm ranting because it's a water break, so it's gonna take. I'm surprised that they literally called for a water break. I wonder what the weather is like in Calgary. If anyone is from Alberta, please let me know what's the weather like, because this is surprising that they're doing a water break. Maybe, I mean, I thought it was 15 degrees here in Montreal, so how hotter can it be? Maybe I'm just being too ignorant. Still the water break. But yeah, overall, just sharing my overall thoughts for the first 20-25 minutes till this point. Wilson is making an impact. She is being able to help that at least in defense. I haven't seen her as much in offense. Calgary hasn't had a lot of offense, to be very honest. It has been a lot more Ottawa, but at least in defense, Wilson has helped. They're playing, as I mentioned, 4-5-1. Whereas Ottawa has done a very good job of playing through Pridham and Minalid. So they're going from their defense directly to their offensive line, but Gibson and Scott haven't been getting on the ball as much, so that can be a problem. Let's see. Game's back on. Ottawa has a throw in. It's Liv Scott on the ball. Okay, so Liv Scott plays the ball in. But Calgary steals it with Savitsky. Savitsky plays it out to the right-hand side. Storty now. Storty's looking up. She's got Thurton on the right-hand side. They're pretty much going to that right flank. Thurton tries to beat Chu, but doesn't. Chu does a really good job until she doesn't. And then great work by, I think that was Downing who helps her out. I'm so impressed by Downing. She comes all the way back to help Chu out. But eventually they do lose the ball to Calgary, and Calgary is playing from the back now. They're building from the back. As with Rolfsma. To Moore. Moore looks up, tries to play a through ball for Collie Johnson. No, that's Griffith, but she loses it, and then Eriksson clears that ball. Only to back to Michaela Moore for Calgary. Okay, but she plays with Doherty Howard, who also loses it, but thankfully doesn't go too far and eventually ends up back with Calgary, and Calgary play it out to Bukovac all the way to the back. So this is good from Calgary. They're taking their time, which they didn't in the first at least 20 minutes. They were a lot more rushed, I would say, in general. So it is good to see that. But we'll see how this can progress. Right now in the midfield, they have Green to Savitsky. Savitsky is being pressed. Very good work by Desiree Scott. She is getting to the... she's pressing very well. Minali to Pridham in the middle. Downing on the left. Comes to Downing. Downing's trying to take the man on. Or woman on, I guess. And she takes a shot, but not on target. Didn't really affect anything, but not a bad attempt at all. She's, as I mentioned earlier, the more she does the more she is able to take on the defender and get a shot away, she's going to get better and better at it. So I am definitely that doesn't bother me at all. But Calgary's trying to play the ball from the back, try to put a ball up actually, and eventually ends up back with Stordy. So Stordy's on the right-hand side. She's got a lot of space to run into. Downing's trying to chase her down. Thurton on the right-hand side has a lot more space. Puts a cross in. Oh, that's Griffith. Oh, she gets a foot on it, but great work by Eriksson. Amazing save there. That could have been 1-0 up for Calgary out of nothing there. That's, again, on the right-hand side. That's where they're playing through, basically, Stordy and Thurton. Thurton's had a few different times where she's got the ball on the outside. So let's see if that continues. Yeah, I was surprised to see Montreal tying Halifax. A lot of thoughts. Maybe at the halftime. I would love to get into it. Very, very impressed by Halifax. Amazing work by them. Just 2 cents for now. But, yeah, we'll get back to that. Anyways, Ottawa has the ball now in the midfield. Gibson has it. Gibson plays it back to Holland. Holland to Liv Scott. They're trying to play into that midfield to Scott, but Scott is pressed pretty high by Wilson. Again, Wilson's been doing a really good job of pressing Scott all game at this point. And so it's gone out to the right-hand side and off for a throw-in now for Ottawa. Chu has the ball. Chu's going to look for a option up the field for Downing. She asked Downing to make a run, but she doesn't really, and loses it to Calgary. So now we have ping pong in the middle of the field, pretty much. Or head pong, I guess? I don't know. Anyways, Pridham's got the ball in Calgary's half, but that's a rough tackle by Moore, but wins the ball nevertheless, and plays it out to the left-hand side to Griffith, who's all the way in defense. I don't know. See, now she's struggling to get up to the offense and make a move. So that's been an issue for Calgary. Griffith chopping way down without any cover in offense. I don't know how that could work for them. But anyways, the ball's back with Ottawa in their own half. And so Liv Scott's going to look for a pass up and eventually puts a ball all the way up to the other half. And Moore comes in, collects it for Calgary. So they're going to slow it down a little bit. So let's see how Ottawa is playing in their off-possession structure. So we have pretty much Minna pressing the center backs, and then we have Pridham right behind her and Downing. So it's almost it's a 3-4-3 almost, I would say, because Chu is also very high up. Chu is almost coming into the midfield there, so off possession. Anyways, they are in possession now, so not for too long though. Minoli heard me and she's like, nope, we're not in possession. I'm going to give it back to Moore. So it's back with Moore. So let's see what Moore can do. Moore is looking. They're taking their time. They're slowing the game down significantly. And that gives us a chance to look at the formations here. Once again, they are now Ottawa is playing a 3 up top. Adamek is also almost pushing up, but she isn't. It's based off of where the ball is, but yeah, it's basically 3-4-3 with Chu almost shuttling between offense and midfield, and that's helping. But the number in midfield with 3-4-3, it's not helping the Calgary playing to play through the midfield. So they're putting the ball up, which ends up with Eriksson, and they're not able to really do anything, Calgary, with the ball. Eriksson has the ball for Ottawa. She's taking her time as well. I guess it must have been an instruction from both teams. They're significantly slowing the game down here so that it's it's a lot more structured, I guess. Looks like Michaela Moore was a little winded there, so I don't know if that was why they're waiting. So let's see. Yeah. It's so true. It's she's doing a really good job of. That's exactly the word, inverted fullback. She drops into the midfield when they when they're trying to press high up. She also does a pretty good job with the ball. She goes up on the flanks as well. So that can be hard. And Downing on that side as well is able to help Chu be more effective in that sense. And as I speak of Downing has the ball but loses out Stordy. I'm so excited for that clash. Meanwhile, as I say that, Stordy is beaten and Downing cuts in and takes a shot, but it's not powerful enough and straight to Bukovac, so it doesn't really bother her as much. But that was good to see. As I was saying, the matchup between Stordy and Downing does a really good job of beating her one-on-one and then trying to cut in. So she's doing a few of these now. I think it's maybe 3 or 4 times I've now spoken about her cutting in and trying to play that ball. Anyways, it's Calgary has the ball in midfield. Doherty Howard gets a lot of time in midfield and tries to play a ball through for Collie Johnson there, but gets cut off eventually. She gets fouled for her trouble. It's Collie Johnson by Liv Scott. So I guess that's a free kick for Calgary in the Ottawa half. They're showing the Downing chance once again. Well, I guess the shot that she took, the way she cut through and beat Stordy and got in. Pretty good looking effort there, Downing. Anyways, Calgary has the ball. Savitsky to I think that's Stordy. Yeah, Stordy beats her man. Plays it to Griffith, and there's no one inside the box to take that pass from Griffith. But Calgary wins it back and plays it to the defense and to build up again, only to just play a through ball to Turton. So there wasn't much of a build-up, really. That's Savitsky gets the ball and plays a through ball for Turton. Once again into the box. Plays through to Griffith, I think that was, and she had an open goal to just place it in, and she doesn't. She misses it. Let's be honest. She fluffs that shot, and it goes out the other side, and Ottawa clears it. That was a great chance. Thurton has a lot of space, looks up, finds Griffith, and plays I think that was Griffith, or I'm not sure if that was Griffith or Wilson, but that must hurt. This is like the 3rd time they've created a chance on that right-hand side. So pretty much the whole of Calgary offense is coming through, Thurton making those runs. And partly because I think, as we were discussing earlier, Chu and Downing for Ottawa, because they're so high up, it gives a lot of space for Thurton to exploit. And she is doing that. And so they're able to find her. And right now, Doherty Howard has time on the ball, looks up, plays it to Collie Johnson, but Johnson's offside. So The ball is dead. As I was saying, Thurton is getting a lot of time on the ball or even off the ball when they don't have the possession. Thurton has a lot of space on that right hand side because Chu is making those high runs and playing that inverted fullback. Meanwhile, Downing is also quite up, so that Calgary is looking at that as an opportunity. Anyways, Ottawa has the ball. Ericsson's going to boot it up to the midfield. Adamek chasing it, but good clearance by Green. Oh, actually, it's off of Adamek, so Calgary has the ball. Adamek's definitely not happy. She's like, that's not off of me. What? But anyways, it's Green's got the ball. She's going to take the free kick, so let's see what she can do with it. Green to Doherty Howard. Back to Green, but Green loses it this time. Oh, great work by Griffith to clean up in that defense area, but unfortunately loses it back again. Great pressing by Ottawa, I have to say. That defense, that midfield right now, mainly I would say Adamek, and to some extent Scott is now pushing up a lot more, which is great to see. So Adamek has been putting in a shift on that right-hand side, and even she's able to, whenever she is needed, she's able to cut in and come into the midfield and do that defensive work. Great work. Offensive pressing work, to be honest. So that's making it hard for Calgary to build from the back. Though she did concede a bit of a foul there. I'm not sure if that was a card, but it was a foul that Adamek conceded. So Calgary has the ball. Rolfsma has the ball, and she puts it out to Stordy all the way to the right-hand side. Thurton tries to come to it, but Chu once again is first to it. Plays to Downing. Downing to, I think that's Holland. Holland. Oh no, that's actually Harris. Downing has the ball eventually and plays it inside. This time to Scott. Scott almost lost it, but now got the ball. Terrible work there by Green. She went in for the challenge and lost it, and then gets and then gets beaten by Scott, who plays it to Adamek, and then she plays a really good-looking cross, but Bukovac gets it. That's why I was saying, almost looked like a good cross, but Bukovac was able to take care of that. Calgary has the ball now, and it's played out to Thurton on the right-hand side. Once again, they're looking at that right-hand side and trying to exploit that space, but Thurton can't get to it, and it's a Ottawa throw-in. Chu to Downing. Chu and Downing are having a great time on that left-hand side there. They're really enjoying that corridor of space. But this time, Ottawa plays it out to the right. Holland. Holland gives it to Harris to the left. She has Chu once again if she needs. Chu plays it back to Harris. Harris back to Holland. Now to the right-hand side. This time to Scott. Scott back to Holland. They're slowing it down a lot, which I like, which is good. This time Scott comes in and shows this is exactly what they need. They need Scott to drop in a little bit more, give that extra outlet. Even if she doesn't drop, at least give that outlet for that defense to play out. And this time she did that. Ottawa plays it through to the right-hand side, and now it's with Pridham in the middle, and now to Downing once again on the left-hand... Chu to the left-hand side. She cuts in, takes a shot, but not enough power on it, and straight to Bukovac again. Love Bukovac's positioning. She's almost always at the right place to take, to face a shot. Great work once again, this time by Chu. Downing's a lot more inside, so Chu is able to get a lot more space, and she exploits it and cuts in and takes a shot. Oh, great work by Adamek once again by Ottawa, trying to play an early ball in for Pridham, but Pridham was offside, I think, in that situation. So love seeing this from Ottawa. Ottawa is really, really stepping this up, and pretty much the whole half. I would say it's been Ottawa who's created more of the better chances, and they've used more of the pitch than Calgary has. Calgary has created chances for sure, but it's all come through Thurton on the right-hand side, whereas Calgary has exploited the left-hand side through Downing and right-hand side through Adamek, which is good to see. Though I would like to see Minali more on the ball, though. They have not gotten Minali to be much of an impact here. Anyways, Calgary has the ball in defense. Tries to play a through ball, doesn't get through to anything, so it's out for a throw-in. It gets cleared, actually, so it gets... it's out for a throw-in for Calgary. Michaela Moore and defense. So now Calgary has an opportunity to slow the game down. It's only a minute left, so I don't know if that's a good idea. I mean, maybe. It's 0-0. Anyways, Kylie Johnson comes deep and takes that ball. And now, great work by Wilson to play it back. Now to Thurton. Thurton has it across for Wilson, but it goes through her, and because she was really pressed, it basically goes to the other side, and no one's there on the other side to put a touch on it. Great work by Kylie Johnson this time. She drops back a lot and finds Thurton this time on the right-hand side flank. Once again, the threat comes from the right-hand side flank, and this time it was Wilson who made the run to the middle, but couldn't really do anything with it. Though that they did earn a corner, I think. Yeah, they did earn a corner, so it's a Calgary corner, and it's going to be... It's taken in. It's a little too long and goes to the other side and gets cleared away. So that was Adamek who cleared it, so now it's a throw-in for Calgary. Storty's going to take it. Storty's looking around, looking for options. Doherty Howard is there, so she plays it to her. Back to Storty. Storty's now got some press on her. She beats that, and gets fouled. So good work by Storty there. And so she gets a throw-in once again. So Calgary's putting some pressure on here, which is good. And they haven't had much of an opportunity. And once again, the pressure is coming from the right-hand side for Calgary. So it is something is to be said about that right-hand side overload that Ottawa has been conceding, partly because they are being more aggressive on that on their left-hand side. So I guess you get some, you lose some. Anyways, I think it's Doherty Howard on the ball. She's looking up. She's looking for options. She has... Oh, it's a free kick. Sorry, I forgot. Yeah, it's a free kick that Calgary has. Doherty Howard puts a ball in, but it directly goes out. Bit of a missed opportunity there for Calgary. Doesn't really threaten anything and just goes out right over the goal. That must be disappointing as a Calgary fan, because that didn't really amount to anything. Anyways, now that would mean Ottawa can get the ball and do something with it. So Harris has the ball in defense. She plays it to Downing, who does a very good job of making a deep run and giving her an option. And Downing still has it and plays it to Scott, who's also done a good job of moving around. And back to Downing. Great work by Downing. Beats another person and gets fouled? No, not a foul. It's a side tackle, but it's not a foul. Griffith has the ball now with Calgary, and she tries to play it Kylie Johnson in, and instead just plays it to Erickson. Great work there by Downing until she got fouled, which I thought was a foul. I don't know. Anyways, Ottawa has the ball. I think it's Holland. Holland plays it a through ball to high up, but Ottawa lose it, and now it's with Calgary. They try to play through Sarah Griffith, who plays a ball deep into the box, which gets headed out. Now it's out to Savitsky. Savitsky to... I think it's Doherty Howard. Doherty Howard can play the ball in. Oh, no, it's Storty, sorry. Storty on the right-hand side. She can play the ball in, but she does, but gets cleared away for a corner. So once again on the right-hand side. The corner is coming through the right-hand side, and the attack was also coming through the right-hand side. So something's to be said again for the overload there. I wonder if they're going to think about some substitutions here, because if I were Katrina Peterson, I wouldn't really worry too much. But if I were Lydia Bedford, I want to see what I can do on the left-hand side here. Anyways, the corner comes in, and great work by Eriksson to be dominant, be aggressive, and be decisive to collect that ball. So it doesn't really threaten Ottawa at all. And she's now going to take a quick kick to see if they can release the Ottawa offense, but she doesn't, because the ball really just goes out. It's 3 added minutes, and now we're in the 3rd minute of that, so we're pretty much at the end of the half here, and we're pretty much playing clearance ball by both teams, because they're going much more direct at this point. Makes sense. It's the end of the half, so they're going to try to put pressure on each other. Green has the ball for Calgary in their own half. She's going to try to put a long thrown ball, but it ends up being beaten to by Howland, and that's the half, folks. That is the half. Woo! That was fun. That was a pretty exciting work from Ottawa. Big shout out to Ottawa. They have done a really tremendous job on making sure that the offense is pressing up on the Calgary defense, especially Savitsky and Doherty Howard. They are not able to really push up too much, and the only opportunities Calgary has been able to create because of that is through Thurton, when they play the ball out to Thurton. So great work there. I have to say, I would say a big shout out to Adamek. Kayla Adamek has been relentless. Big shout out to Downing. I'm just talking about off possession, as in defensive work right now. So big shout out to Adamek. Big shout out to Downing. Big shout out to Pridham. All three of them have worked very relentlessly when they don't have the ball to make sure that Calgary is not able to build from their, central midfield. And that makes it hard for them to do anything through the middle, and that's why they've been playing through the right-hand side. Though I am curious to see what they can do on the left-hand side. For Calgary's offense, the reason it's on the right-hand side is because Ottawa has been playing Chu and Downing way high up. So that leaves us a lot of space for Thurton, and Thurton is able to exploit that. They just need a good finish or someone to have presence in the box. Griffith has been too far in defense, so most of the time when Thurton has the ball, there's really no one except for maybe Wilson who has not been able to get to the end of it. So that's been the struggle for Calgary, even for the chances they've created. So I will think about that. I would probably think of doing something with maybe moving Wilson around, or getting Tegan Stewart or Kelly Box in, give that additional threat in offense. Meanwhile, for Ottawa in offense, again, because they are giving away that space to Thurton, in return, they're getting Chu and Downing doing a very good job, attacking on that left-hand side. That's been their biggest strength. Downing has been a very good addition. She has cut in multiple times. She's been able to beat her man a few times, so great work there. Pridham, as always, she drops in, gets the ball, and goes and makes runs through. So great work. She's been able to, she's been supported pretty well this time by Adamek and Downing on both sides. Though I would love to see Minna Lee on the ball a little more. I don't think we've seen enough of Minna Lee this time. Whereas Scott and Gibson have been okay. I think their positional movement, like off-ball movements, could be better, because a lot of times when Ottawa makes any offensive plays, they're making it directly from defense to that middle attacking midline. They're bypassing Scott and Gibson, partly because Calgary's pressing them pretty effectively. Wilson is doing a pretty good job of that, but then you need to beat that press. Scott can move around, Gibson can move around, give them that outlet, which they're not doing. But either way, Ottawa's still done a pretty good job of their attack. They have had more of the chances. I want to see the numbers. I haven't seen it, but I'm pretty sure Ottawa have had the better chances and more of those chances. Yeah, so let's see. I was just reading a comment here. Yeah, Forbes. I don't know. Yeah, maybe. I mean, I would rather bring in someone like Julie Bonatti, so that, and maybe not replace Min Ali this time, because they've been subbing in Bonatti in place of Min Ali. The reason I say Bonatti is their outside mids have been pretty good. Adamek and Downing have done a good job. I mean, Adamek could get tired how much work she has put in, but they've been very effective. What they need in the midfield is that, that awareness to move around so that the defense gets a through ball, an outlet ball into the midfield, and then kind of play through her. So I wonder if they can maybe replace Gibson for Bonatti, or I dare say, Desi Scott for Bonatti. I don't know. Maybe not Desi Scott. Desi Scott's got too much experience in that sitting midfield that it'd be too much of a liability. But maybe Gibson for Bonatti could be something. Forbes plays more on the wings, I think. I saw her play last time as well on the wings. Maybe Adamek gets tired and you might want to replace Adamek for Forbes. Could be an option. But yeah, I want to see more control for Ottawa. If I'm Ottawa, I want to see more control in their midfield core. Their ball is not really going through that midfield unless they play a direct pass from, defense to Minali or Pridham. So that's the only chance. If they don't do that, it's on the left flank. That's it. Right. If I'm Calgary, I might. It's tough. Like I'm thinking of what I can do with Sarah Griffith and Madison Wilson. Madison Wilson's been on the positive side. She's been very good in pressing Desi Scott in defense when they don't have possession, but in offense she's not able to do much. And Sarah Griffith as well. She's almost very deep, which makes it very hard for any kind of presence in the box. So I might bring in Box. I really want to see Box. Yeah, well, Forbes was getting beat. I mean, that's the thing. She was playing outside. That's what I remember as well. Forbes was playing. I think it was right wing, if I'm not mistaken. So last game. So yeah, if she gets beat there, yeah, I don't think though, Quake, that Ottawa. I would be very surprised if Ottawa loses this game. I would say Ottawa has a really good chance of at least taking away a draw. It's also, we have to remember, they are playing away from home, so it's always hard to win away from home. But considering they're away from home, it's been very effective. It's been very, they've had the ball more, and they've had more of the chances. So very impressive overall. Considering also that this is their third game. Calgary, I think, is the fourth game. So I'm pretty impressed overall. I mean, the change that I hoped they would make, they already made, which was bringing in Downing. So, I mean, right there, they've made a pretty good. That tells me that they were able to look at what they did last week and work on that. So it's always good to see, positive change happening, and that's what's happened. It's showing in their overall game. I think they should play Downing every game. That's great. I mean, that left side flank is, and remember, she's playing against Stordy. Stordy is pretty good. She is, Stordy herself can go up and down quite effectively, and to be able to play against Stordy and then make sure that you can cut in and you can beat her on that wing, that's that's no small feat, I would say. So very impressed by Downing in general. And you have to also remember, I mean, Stordy has had so much experience, though maybe she is not that much older than Downing herself. Like, I think Stordy is 23. So even though she's not too much older, she has had more experience. She's played in Portugal. She's coming from Portugal, right? So she's played more international football. She's played for Foothills as well. Um, she's played, as I mentioned, because she's played internationally and Downing hasn't. It's gonna show at some point. And considering all of that, being Downing basically being able to hang with Stordy and sometimes even beat her, yeah, it says a lot about how good Downing can be. So we still are in halftime, so I'm just going to see if there's anything in terms of... Yeah, Peterson, that's the only change I can think of, to be honest. Other than that, if I'm Ottawa, I'm relatively more confident. I would be I'd be a little concerned if I'm Calgary. I want to see. I'm still not able to unlock that number 10 role, which Wilson is playing right now. They have that issue of a good center forward. They've been playing Sarah Griffith, and Sarah Griffith is, don't get me wrong, she's a very experienced player. I mean, obviously she played for Chicago Stars. She's on loan. She's she's very experienced, but you can't. I mean, you need a very good presence in the box, and I can't see Griffith being able to, do that at least in the games I've seen her play. She's very good with coming down. I would say she's more of a number 10 than a number 9. And they're making her play more of a number 9 role, which I don't know suits her. She could probably do like a false 9, which I think is what she's doing. But if you're going to play a false 9, you need your wingers, like Callie Johnson and Sarah Thurton, to be able to cut in a lot more and make those runs instead of playing crosses. Because if your game is based on crosses and you don't have a 9 and you're playing a false 9, I don't know if that's going to work because you don't have any presence in the box. And Callie Johnson, that's her strength. She's very good on the flanks and she can put in crosses. Thurton as well. So Griffith playing false 9 or maybe even dropping down into the midfield sometimes has been a challenge. So I would, if I'm Calgary, I'm looking at what I can do there. I don't see much of it. Like maybe Danielle Steer could come in. They have tried that before. That has been a challenge, I would say, Calgary, overall. So let's hope that they can fix that. And that also explains why they've lacked goals from open play. Most of their goals have come from set pieces. That game that kind of flattered them a lot, which was the Halifax game, where they won 4-1. 3 of the goals came from set pieces. So it kind of adds up that they're good at set pieces, thanks to Michaela Moore, who's the league leader right now. Well, maybe not after this weekend, but she's scored most of their goals through set pieces. And they've struggled with open play. And that's because Griffith is more of a false 9 or more of a center attacking mid than a actual 9. And when you have more, outside mids, or right wing and left wing playing crosses in, that won't work out because you need someone more prominent in the box. So that's the change I would think of. Can I switch Griffith with Steer or Wilson? I don't know. To be honest, I don't know. You could probably play Tegan Stewart and maybe, invert Tegan Stewart to play a 9. I have no clue. I mean, that's going to be a challenge moving forward. Not just this game. Moving forward, Calgary, they need to figure out that whole problem. So I think if I want to make a prediction right now, it's going to be Ottawa 1-0. Unless, and if by any chance Calgary is scoring, it's going to be through that right wing, through Thurton, unless something they change something drastically. So let's see. Yeah, they're showing the stats here. Shots on target 3 from Ottawa, and total shots 9, 0 and 0 for Calgary. That sums it up. That sums it up right there. 9 shots by Ottawa, 3 on target, and 0 from Calgary. That's it. I mean, I ranted quite a bit, which I could have just summarized in numbers, and there it is. So, that's not a good look. It's pretty much the story of the game. We're coming out here, so I'm excited. Let's see if there's any changes as we come out. I'll update the graphic here. Oh, as we, man, I need to get it's almost like I have a direct line to Lydia Bedford because Steer and Tegan Stewart are coming in. So what are the odds? So let me change those. Tegan Stewart. I don't know who they're coming in for, so we'll see. Yep, as expected, Tegan Stewart is coming in for Sarah Griffith. Or Steer is coming for Sarah Griffith. So, as expected. Let's see if the other one is Madison Wilson. That's my bet. Madison Wilson. So I know Griffith has come out, but I haven't seen a indication for the other change. So let's see. Let's see. All right, we're off again in this half, and Doherty Howard kicks off for Calgary, and we are off. So let's see. So we got 4-3-3 for Calgary, and pretty much a 4-5-1 for Ottawa. Cully Johnson actually comes out, which is surprising, and Tegan Stewart comes in her place. So I want to see how that stacks up. So I hope people can see the changes. Let me just make sure that I am updating everything here. Yep. Okay. Perfect. So back to the game here. So Calgary has the ball. Ali Green's got it on the left-hand side, and she's going to take a throw in. And we're pretty much a little bit halfway through the Ottawa half. So let's see what that does. Ottawa clear it, and we're back all the way to Calgary's defense. So Bukovac to Moore. Moore looks up and plays a direct ball to, I think that was Steer. Yep, that's Steer. And she does a decent job of winning or rather, she fouls her, but so she gives away a free kick to Ottawa. But she does at least do a pretty good job of pressing that, so that's good. Ottawa has the ball. They play it through the middle. Now it's with Pridham, I think. Yeah, it's with Pridham. Pridham plays a through ball for Downing. Downing has made a good run, but loses out to Storty. And good hustle by Downing still to try to win that. And yeah, she has lost out to Storty for a throw-in. Yeah, for a second I thought she must have won a free kick there, but she hasn't. Storty gets the ball. She looks up and she tries to play a through ball for Thurton, but doesn't go, and it's out for another throw. So Storty's got another throw to make. Another attempt at going to Thurton, but doesn't, and then once again out for a throw. That's 3 in a row for Storty now. This time Wilson comes short. Gives it Thurton. Thurton tries to play to Wilson, but loses out to Ottawa, who decide that they don't want to have the ball for at least now. So they play it back to Calgary. Calgary's got Steer. Steer drops way deep to find her defense and play it back to Rolfsema. Rolfsema plays it to Ali Green. Green looks up and tries to play a through ball to Tegan Stewart, but doesn't reach at all, and does earn a throw-in, which she takes and gives it to Ottawa. Ottawa's trying to press hard, but loses the ball in the midfield, but are able to get it back again. So now we're back with Ottawa on the right-hand side this time. They play it all the way back, and it's with Holland. Holland to Eriksson. Eriksson to Harris. Harris has time. She's going to look up. She plays a good middle ball to Pridham. Once again, Pridham's so good with coming down and getting that ball. She does, and plays it to Chu on the left-hand side. Chu plays it back. Takes time. Plays to Harris. Harris to Holland. Holland's going to take time, and I'm seeing that Desi Scott and Minna Lee are very deep. Meanwhile, Chu has played an inverted fullback position. She's so far in the middle, and it's a good through ball in the meantime by Harris to try to play in Adamek, but doesn't, and Eriksson does a good job of getting to it. So Ottawa tries to play from the back. She's got Desi Scott, who loses it to Thurton. Thurton's got Savitsky. Savitsky's got Tegan Stewart. Stewart's got Doherty Howard on the left-hand side. She could have taken a cross, but she ends up getting a very heavy touch and putting the ball for a goal kick. So there are a couple of changes that I'm seeing right off the bat, which is Scott's playing a little higher. But what I was looking for was, let me just make sure. Yeah, Scott's playing a little higher here, so it's gonna probably help. So as I'm seeing here, so Scott is pretty much right below the front, three. But anyways, it's with Ottawa. Ottawa has Harris. Harris looks up. She plays a ball all the way to the right-hand side to Adamek, and Adamek wins a throw. So she has a throw. She looks all the way to the forward line and plays it to Pridham, who takes a very, ambitious shot there from there to the right-hand side of that 18-yard box. She had a long way to go to the goal, so I don't think that would have really bothered Bukovic, even if it was on target. Bukovic's going to take it. She's going to play a short ball to Ali Green. Green looks up. She tries to play it to Steer, who loses it, and Scott does a pretty good job of covering and in defense and playing it back to Eriksson. Eriksson to Harris. Harris to Holland. Holland puts a through ball to the offense, but ends up playing it to Green. Green plays it to Eriksson, and she clears it. And great work by Chu to win that back. And great work there by a good shot. I think it was by Don't know who it was, but Downing. It comes out to Downing to the left-hand side, and she tries to play it into Pridham, but Pridham misses it, and eventually ends up getting cleared away. That was. I want to see who was that. Who took that shot? Yeah, it was Adamek. No, it was Adamek. Adamek takes a shot from the top of the box, and it gets saved. Though I think that was it wasn't too bad for Bukovic to save. And the parry goes to Downing, and Downing couldn't do much with it. But good work on Downing to be there. Calgary builds from the back. Green's got Savitsky. Savitsky's got Stordy. Now she switches the flanks. They're playing 4-3-3 Ottawa in defense now. So basically, Adamek drops back to help Gibson and Scott. Steer has the ball at the top of the box, but she loses to Scott. Scott loses his back to Steer, so Steer still has the ball. Oh, it looks like Steer fouled Desiree Scott, so that's going to be a free kick for Ottawa in their own half, actually. So I don't think it's a position for going for a long ball. They're probably going to play short, which they have. So let's see. They played it to the defense. Holland has the ball. Holland plays it back to her goalkeeper, Eriksson. Eriksson to Harris. Harris to Scott. Scott does really good beating her press and playing it out to Harris and to Downing. Downing's got time. She's going to look up. She's very aware of where she is. They're being pressed pretty hard, Ottawa, but they're able to play through the press, which is good. And they're not shy of going back, which now they're doing. Scott's doing that. Scott's playing to Harris. Harris plays it inside, I think, to Gibson, and Gibson back to Harris. But this time Harris plays a long ball and gives it back to Calgary. So now Calgary's trying to build something. Let's see. Got Green. Green's pressed by Adamek, and Adamek wins the ball but concedes a throw-in. Overall, I think that the second half has started a little slower than the first. I would say both teams have kind of lost the momentum that they had, especially Ottawa trying to build through that left-hand side flank. Haven't seen too much of Chu yet, so we'll see. Calgary, Green on the left-hand side. Tries to play a through ball but doesn't, and ends up losing it to Ottawa. Adamek concedes wins a throw-in, actually. So Ottawa has a throw-in. It will be Adamek. I'm looking at the positioning. Tegan Stewart's pretty much playing that left-hand side wing for Calgary now. And Wilson has also... Wilson's still playing that number 10 role, and Steer has taken up the number 9 role. So Steer probably is going to do more of that solid number 9 rather than false 9. Anyways, Calgary has the ball. Thornton in the middle. Thornton's going to take a shot, but that's sailing way over the net. She's way more central now this time, and so she couldn't really... she could have actually maybe taken the ball a little bit closer, but anyways, credit to her for taking that shot, though it sailed over pretty significantly. Anyways, it's going to be Ottawa ball. It's Holland to Eriksson. Eriksson looks around, plays it back to Holland, but not accurate. So Holland has to run a little bit and lose it to Tegan Stewart. Very good work by Stewart to press that. But back to Ottawa. So Ottawa's going to build from the back. Tegan Stewart's got the... Liv Scott's got the ball on that Ottawa right-hand side, and Liv tries to play a long ball, which doesn't go anywhere but to the Calgary defense. Oh, that was terrible work by Bukovac to play it through ball, and great work by Downing, I have to say. So Bukovac tries to play it to Stordy on the right-hand side of Calgary, and Downing just absolutely runs maybe 40 yards to go win that ball and steal it off of Storty. So great work. Anyways, back to Calgary. Calgary has the great chance, actually. So Calgary played it through Steer on the right-hand side, and it was just one-on-one with Steer and Harris, I think. And she took a shot from the top of the box. It looked like it was going to go crash against that crossbar, but it's a little over that and goes away for a goal kick. Yeah, that wasn't too far. Great work by Steer. Steer's been a good presence in the second half for Calgary. I think kind of goes to what I was saying earlier, which is being able to give Calgary that presence in the box, and she's been able to do that. So we'll see how much more of an impact that'll have. But in the meantime, Holland is down again. This is the second time she's down, so I wonder if that's a challenge for her to continue. Let's hope that's not the case. Just kind of seems like she's cramping up, but anyways. So the changes have had some impact here. I would definitely say that of all the changes, it's been Steer that's made an impact. Stewart has been good, but Stewart's playing the left-hand side wing, which hasn't really done anything for Calgary all night, even when it was Callie Johnson. I think Liv Scott, have to give a lot of credit to Liv Scott. She's been very solid on that left-hand side flank, and we haven't seen anything that Calgary could have created on that side. But instead of Tegan Stewart, Steer, meanwhile, has had a very big impact. She's able to take up the positions that Thurton was also taking. Thurton's still doing that, but they're able to exploit that a little bit more. That right-hand side flank of Calgary, they're able to overload that side more, and that's how the chance that just happened, where Steer was able to pick up the ball in her own half and run through with it with only Harris to mark, and then takes a shot. So we'll see how much longer Ottawa takes to adjust to that. Ottawa has the ball, by the way. And they're going to make a change as well. It's probably Fridland. Johan Fridland comes in for, most likely, I'm guessing, for Downing. Please not Downing. Nope, it's Desi Scott. Yeah, well, that's also very understandable. I would have thought to bring in Benatti instead of Fridland to put into Desi Scott's position, but that's not bad at all. I think. Oh, wait. No, sorry. Holland is substituted, actually. So I wonder if that was a double substitution. Let's give it a second here. Yeah, okay. Lofthouse comes in for Holland. Okay, so Harris is still playing that center back role. Lofthouse is playing outside, so I'm guessing Liv Scott is going to play inside. Let's see. This is going to be interesting. All right, Calgary's playing. Calgary has the ball. Doherty Howard. Doherty Howard loses it to Chu. Chu, who's basically on that left-hand side flank all day, is taking it up. So I want to see what happens to Lofthouse, because Lofthouse is now playing on the on the left flank here. Yeah, I want to see who is taking up that role instead. Liv Scott and Harris for sure. I'm guessing they're moving to a 3-back so that Chu can play a little bit higher up. So anyways, it's on the left-hand side for Ottawa. Ottawa's got Downing. Downing's doing a very good job of holding up the ball against Moore, but eventually loses out. But Lofthouse wins it back, and now it's with Lofthouse again, who tries to play a ball in but doesn't go anywhere. But that said, she does earn a corner, so it's going to be Chu who's going to take it. So I'm still trying to figure out where Chu is exactly playing. She's very center. She's not playing left back anymore. Lofthouse is playing that role, so I'm thinking Chu is going to play a lot more central now that Scott is gone, and Fridland comes in. So they're going to need more help in that Desi Scott position. Anyways, it is going to be Ottawa's throw. So we'll see who takes it. It's going to be Chu most likely. Chu's been taking their corners all day. Meanwhile, Gray comes in for Thurton just before that corner, and Chu takes it. It gets headed out, and that said, Gibson plays it back in, but also gets headed out. And now we are back to Ottawa going all the way back to their defense. Adamek is all the way back in defense. Harris now is in defense as it gets to Harris. Duff Scott is here. Adamek, back to Adamek. Adamek's pretty much playing their left center back right now. So they're playing a 3 in the back at this point. And Chu is playing that center, the pivot, single pivot right above them. So it'll be interesting to see. Anyways, it's with Downing in the middle. There's a lot of space for Minali in the middle. The Chu comes in. Chu has a lot of time on the right-hand side, plays a big ball to intended for Pridham, but doesn't get there. Good work by Calgary. So I'm looking at the structure for Ottawa right now. It is seems like, okay, Adamek has dropped back to their 4. So Liv Scott and Jalissa Harris are playing center backs. Adamek is the outside back, and Lofthouse on the left back, and Gibson, Chu, and Fridland in their midfield, and it's Downing. Downing's playing pretty much the same position, so it is kind of a 4-4-2, but it's very compact 4-4-2 in a way. So I've updated that on the screen. Hopefully that helps. Yeah, so Fridland, I wonder how Fridland's gonna tuck in, how much she's gonna tuck in. She did play very wide last game, so I want to see how much she tucks in or goes out. Anyways, so yeah, Lofthouse is playing left back. Then it's Harris, Scott, and Adamek, yeah. Okay. All right, so we got Calgary on the ball. Calgary's got deep in Ottawa's half. It's going to be Tegan Stewart who earns a throw-in. Or is that a corner? Yeah, it's a throw-in. So it's going to be Storty who has the ball. Storty plays it to Doherty Howard. Doherty Howard gets it back. She's going to look up. Gets pressed, so plays it back. But then eventually gets it back. So she's going to try to turn. But great work by Gibson to tackle that. And even though she concedes a corner, great work there by Gibson. So Gibson and Chu are playing that defensive midfield role. So I'm going to change Fridland to a little bit outside. So I want to see where Fridland is exactly. So even though on the screen you'll see that I've moved Fridland a little bit. All right, Doherty Howard has a free kick for Calgary deep inside Ottawa's half. Let's see what happens. Puts it into the box. Gets cleared away, gets headed out, but it's not cleared away, but eventually is by I think it's Lofthouse, and then eventually to Eriksson. Eriksson comes all the way out to get it and plays it to Rolfsema. Rolfsema plays a long ball, which Ottawa is able to defend. And it kind of gets ping-ponged in the middle here. And eventually, I think that's Harris who comes all the way out and tries to win that ball and earns a throw-in for her troubles. No, that's Lofthouse. Lofthouse has moved pretty high up. Okay, so Lofthouse, once again, on the left back position, plays it to her defense. It's Holland. Holland to Lofthouse. Lofthouse to, this time to the right-hand side, to Adamek. Adamek plays it to Fridland, I think, this time. Yep, finally we have Ottawa playing it up, but eventually loses it to Calgary. On the left-hand side, it's with Stordy. Stordy beats two people and then finds a lot of space in the middle, then plays it to Savitsky. Savitsky has a lot of space in the midfield because Ottawa committed a lot of numbers there, but doesn't have a good pass on her and gets cut out by, I think that's Liv Scott who cuts it out. Very good work defensively by Scott there. She's moved in as a center back now, so she usually plays right back. So it's interesting to see her being still very effective. Great, good on her. Ellen Gibson wins the ball in the midfield. She has a lot of space, so she's gonna look up. She doesn't have a lot of options though. She plays a really good-looking ball on the left flank to Downing, who's wide open, but she doesn't. The cross she makes is not. Does not find anyone until Adamek makes a deep run from defense from the right back position. I wonder what happened there, because Fridland probably could have or should have tried to win that ball somehow, but Fridland is not in the right position, and instead it's Adamek who makes a long run to have to come back from the right back, because Fridland is now playing on the right there, so she could have tried to come and help out. Yeah, it is Fridland on the right hand side. That was going to be a throw-in for, a free kick for Calgary, and there was a bit of a stoppage there. But anyways, Calgary is going to take that free kick now. It's going to be Rolfsma. Bit of a stoppage there. Rolfsma plays it to Bukovic. Bukovic to Moore. Moore is looking, getting pressed by Downing. Good work by Downing. Back to Bukovic, and Bukovic boots it up. And good clearance by Harris. Eventually ends up with Downing in the midfield. She looks for Minali. Minali tries to play back Downing. Great work by Downing. Downing's been such a good presence. Okay. I thought we were just off for a second here. Let me just make sure. Okay. All right. Cool. There's a bit of a glitch there, but we're back on. We haven't missed much because Ottawa tried to make a long ball, which eventually ended up with Minali, and Minali tries to take a shot, which is nowhere close to goal. So eventually is going back for a goal kick, which Calgary takes short. They played to Stordy. Stordy, oh man, doesn't get past Downing once again. Downing has been so effective on that left-hand side flank. Stordy's probably thinking to herself, like, what do I do with her? Great work by Downing. Very impressed. Anyways, we have Stordy. Stordy's going to take the ball, through a long throw, and which Harris clears. This time she goes inside Stordy with the throw. Doherty Howard. Doherty Howard plays it back to Rolfsma. Rolfsma's going to take some time. Play it to Savitsky. Back to Rolfsma. This time, I think it's Steer who's come all the way down. Guessing. Let's see. No, it's Steer who comes all the way down. This time plays it to the left-hand side. This time it's Ali Green. Still on the left-hand side. Stewart. Now to the right. Doherty Howard's got in the middle. She's got a lot of people to beat, so she's going to play it to the left-hand side again to Green. Green tries to play a good-looking cross in, but no one's there in the box. That was pretty good defense by Ottawa. They were so compact through the lines. There was barely any space. Calgary finally tried to play it through the middle, and but took way too long to kind of build up anything. So it made it really hard for Calgary to do anything with it. Ottawa has the ball on the right-hand side. Lofthouse to Harris. Harris is going to take some time, look up, and try to play a ball to Pridham, but Pridham misses it out and gives it to Calgary in their own half. But thankfully, Pridham gets that ball back, and now it's with Lofthouse. Lofthouse has a lot of space to run, and she's going to run in, and that clears up a lot of space on the left for Downing. Downing is once again one-on-one. She cuts in again, and cuts back. Oh, turns her player, but the shot is missing again. Again, lots of energy, lots of, hustle, and also good skills. She's cutting in, turning her player around. But that last shot, that finishing shot, is kind of a raw product for her, so hopefully she'll work on that. Meanwhile, I think it's Doherty Howard who's down from a collision she had with her own teammate, actually. It's Steer, I think. There might be another sub coming in at this point for Calgary, perhaps. So we'll see. Oh no, it's Ottawa is gonna sub in while Doherty Howard's down. So we'll see who's coming in. Great. I mean, I can't say enough about Downing. Downing has been a huge presence in this game. She has made so many very insightful runs. Like she knows exactly where to be. Her positioning is very good. She helps Chu out with defense. She makes sure that she's very wide and left to the left so that she doesn't get, pulled in with the ball. So when the ball is on the right hand side, it doesn't pull her inside, and so that basically means she has a lot of time on the left hand side, so she could be played in, and then she can do one-on-ones. Meanwhile, I'm just a little distracted because I'm looking at Megan Doherty Howard, and they're probably saying she might have a concussion. She might need to be subbed out. So let's hope that she's not. We're still watching. We're still assessing that situation. Meanwhile, I'm looking at the subs bench here. If I'm Calgary, I am a little bit happy with Steer. I have more presence in the box, which is good, but I do want to create more chances. We have pretty much, I know Thurton is out. I don't know if I have changed that. Oh, sorry, I haven't changed that graphic yet, so let me just make sure that I change that. Give me 1 second. While we wait for Maggie Doherty Howard to be replaced, we will we'll just update the changes that have happened. It seems like she's hurt her shoulder, actually. It's not really it's really a concussion. It seemed initially like a concussion. But yeah, okay, yeah. I forgot to update the Gray and Thurton substitution, so let me just do that. So Thurton grows out and Gray comes in. Let me just see Gray's number is. Okay, so we're back into play. Chu is waiting for a corner kick for Ottawa, so let's just give it a second. Okay, Janaya Robertson comes in for Doherty Howard. That's the change that's happened. Meanwhile, we're just going to take... Oh, it's going to be a short kick for Calgary, but again, it's being asked to take again. So that's weird that it's the second time that Ottawa has had to take a corner. But retake a corner. I'm a little bit distracted here to make sure that the change is correctly done, but let's just take a minute here as Chu takes a corner but doesn't really affect anything. So give me 1 second as I make that change. So Thurton is out for Gray, so I'm going to put in Gray. I'll update her number in a second here. 12. Okay, and then the latest change is Janaya Robertson comes in for Doherty Howard. Okay, now we're good. Sorry about that miss there for Gray that I did mention it, but I didn't actually update the visuals here. But anyways, we're back to live play. Calgary had the ball, and from a goal kick, they booted it up, and now they have the ball in midfield. So let's see what they do with that. They're playing it back to the defense. It's with Moore to Storty. Storty gets pressed once again by Downing, but this time she beats Downing to it and is able to take the ball high up, but eventually loses it out anyways to Lofthouse. Lofthouse plays infield to Chu. Chu has a lot of pressure from Steer and Wilson, so Steer fouls her actually. So now that's going to be a free kick for Ottawa, pretty much in the midfield, pretty much at the center line. And we have one more sub. This time we have finally Downing is getting subbed out. Great work by Downing, and it brings Forbes out. It's a pretty like-for-like sub, I would say. Forbes does play on the outside, but I am so impressed by Downing. Great work, great first start. I can't say enough about her. I'm looking forward to more of her in the coming weeks. All right, so we are back. We are in live play. It's Lofthouse for Ottawa. She plays it to Harris. We are on the left-hand side of Ottawa. And it's first touch for Forbes, and not a good touch. She loses it out for a throw-in. Calgary has the ball with Storty. So pretty much that left-hand side attack has kind of gone down now because Chu has moved inside and Downing is subbed out. So I wonder if that's going to really impact Ottawa's chances of scoring. We'll see, because now Calgary does have the ball, but Steer tries to play inside and loses it. Great defensive work by Storty eventually, because Mina Lee was really asking for that ball and got it and tries to make a run, but eventually Storty gets in the way and clears it. And I think that's a corner for Ottawa, if I'm not mistaken. Could be a deep throw-in, but yeah, it's a corner. So Chu takes it. Chu then plays a ball into the box and does get a header on it, but it's off for a goal kick. It's Harris who gets a header on it, but doesn't really go anywhere. Yeah. It is gonna affect your chances. Yeah, Quake. Yeah, I mean, I'm not really sure if that was a good sub. I mean, the whole structure has changed for Ottawa in the last few minutes, maybe in the last 20 minutes, ever since Lofthouse came in on that right-hand side, left-hand side. It's been an issue. Losing Holland for Ottawa has made a big problem or big issue for them. That defensive change with Liv Scott having to come in and then Lofthouse taking up that left-hand side spot really made a big difference. Anyways, we have one more change for Calgary, which is going to be Ali Green, who goes out for Kaylee Box. I wonder what Kaylee Box is where she's gonna go, because she is more of an attack-minded player. Kind of makes sense in the sense that Calgary is going in for a home win and they're trying to push further, so maybe they're gonna go to a 3 at the back, so we'll see. Anyways, Ottawa has the ball in the meantime, and it's Lofthouse. Lofthouse is gonna try to play through the press in Calgary's half, but doesn't do a good job of that and loses it out to Storty. So we're on the left-hand side of Ottawa, which is the right-hand side of Calgary, and we're in Calgary's half, deep in their half. Storty tries to play a long ball, doesn't get to it, doesn't really do a good job of it, but Calgary's still able to keep the ball. Moore has it. Moore plays it to the other flank. I think it's Box, yes, but Box loses it. She has good help from Stewart. Oh, no, that's Gray, actually. So Gray comes out and tries to help her out. But then does concede a free kick to Ottawa, so we'll see who takes it. It's going to be Chu? Yeah, that's Chu. It's around the 30-yard line, so, or maybe more like 23-yard line. And now there's a lot of people in the box, so we'll see what Ottawa can do from this. This could be interesting. A good-looking ball comes into the box, and it's come out to, I think that's Scott. Yeah, Liv Scott. Oh, that could have been a good chance if Scott had been able to really put something on it. She doesn't. She basically just, she tries to take it, but it's actually a good work by Stordy there. Stordy gets in her way and deflects it off for a corner. So it is a corner, but that was a good-looking free kick actually by Chu, who is also on the corner now, and she takes it, but this time gets headed away. So good defense. Ottawa tries to put the ball back into the box. Falls to Lofthouse. Lofthouse heads it out. Keeps getting headed out for a little bit, and eventually ends up with Fridland, and Fridland plays to Minali. Minali plays it out to Adamek, and now once again with Minali. So it's on the right-hand side. Eventually it gets played to Gibson. Gibson has some time, and she's going to play across in. Cuts it back, but great defense. I think that was Rolfsma, who does a very, very good job of clearing that ball. That was dangerous. Their left-hand side is doing some interesting work now, but Box is still settling in on that left-hand side, I think more of a left-back position, so that's showing a little bit. It's going to be Chu once again with a corner for Ottawa, so we'll see what she can do this time. She's been pretty good with her corners. Once again, a good-looking ball into the box, but no one there to finish that or get a head on. Lofthouse tries to win it, but eventually concedes. No, actually wins a corner. That's the nth corner for Ottawa, I would say, since the half has started, in this half at least. So great work on this side of the field. Fridland this time comes in and takes a corner, which is interesting. Chu has been pretty effective on their corner, so I wonder why they changed it. But anyways, Johan Fridland on the ball. So another corner for Ottawa. Fridland puts the ball in all the way to the other side, but there's no good header on it. But it still is with Ottawa. Frid comes back all the way to Fridland again. She tries to cut back into the box from the left-hand side. Doesn't do anything. Is not able to. And it gets cleared, but Adamek in Ottawa's defense puts the ball back in. And it eventually goes out for a throw-in for Calgary. Seemed like it could have been a free kick actually for Ottawa there, because there was a bit of a foul at the edge of the box. But anyways, it's out to Calgary now. Calgary needs to make something happen here. They're at home. They're trying to get a win, and they've been on the back, on their defensive side most of the game. So we'll see, especially since Thurton has gone out, and also since pretty much their forward line has been changed. Steer has been pretty good, but Gray and Stewart, I haven't really seen much of them, so it hasn't been an effective change, to be honest. I don't think they needed to take Thurton out. They could have kept Thurton. Not sure if she was tired, if that played a role, but in terms of strategy, I don't think that was smart, or it has helped. Anyways, Chu, by the way, has been probably the player of the game. She has been so involved. She's basically gone from being a left back to an inverted left back, to then pretty much now playing a center, defensive mid. Great work by her. She's now playing the Desi Scott position. Anyways, it's with Calgary. Calgary's on the top of the Ottawa box. Savitsky out to Tegan Stewart to the right, but Stewart loses it. Not good work. And now it's Ottawa. Ottawa has time and space. It's with Pridham, I think. No, that's Forbes. Sorry. Forbes loses it though, and it's with Calgary, and Calgary has won a throw-in deep in Ottawa's half, so we'll see what they can do with it. I've also not seen too much of Pridham this half, actually. First half she was very effective, but it hasn't been that effective this time. But anyways, Calgary has the ball. They play a long ball or long throw into the box, but gets cleared away. Minali comes to Minali, and she clears it as well. But eventually, Calgary defense is able to gather it and play all the way back to Bukovac. Bukovac is going to look up, maybe find more. Yes, she finds more. And back to Eriksson, and she clears it. And still with Ottawa. Ottawa had a bit of a chance there at the top of the box, but they eventually just played all the way back. Oh, I didn't know that, actually. Yeah, I did know that Chu was from South Korea, but I didn't realize how integral. I need to go look some of that game tape that she when she plays for South Korea. That'd be interesting. She has great, a great positional awareness. She's very good in the inverted fullback role. She's also been very good as the defensive mid. Anyways, it's Forbes on the left-hand side. She tries to play a ball in, but it doesn't really reach anyone in there. But eventually comes back to Chu, and she tries to take a shot very far away. Gets deflected, but reaches Bukovac safely. No threats there. And Bukovac tries to find her striker, steer all the way to the other side, but instead finds, I think that's Gray. No, that's, yeah, Steer. I wonder who's playing on the right hand side that right now. I mean, Steer is definitely playing the definitely Quake. Yeah, I'll definitely check that out against Australia. Okay. Meanwhile, we have another change. Benati comes in for Minali. This seems like almost like a standard substitution at this point. They've done this pretty much all three of the 4 games, I guess. All 3 games, because it's Ottawa. Minali for Benati. Benati is very good. I saw her last game as well. She's very experienced and also very, strategically, she has a very good football mind, I would say. The way she was playing, you could tell. Like, she was very comfortable. Scott back to Eriksson back to Harris. So it's basically Ottawa keeping the ball in their own half until they can make another attempt. So we'll see. All right, so it's been turned over to Calgary. Calgary has it in their in the center line, but they're so high up, and Ottawa is sitting deep. But it's working for them because Calgary is not able to build up through the midfield and eventually ends up losing the ball multiple times. I think we have about... Yeah, we have 9 minutes of extra time, which is very interesting. Wasn't expecting that, to be honest. 9 minutes of extra time. Maybe that's a lot. All right, so we're... I was going to say we are almost back to Ottawa trying to play a through ball to Forbes, but it doesn't really do anything and eventually goes out for a goal kick for Calgary. So hopefully they can do better with the through balls. I think they're really missing Downing and Chu in that left-hand side. Nothing's gone really to plan for them on that side, to be honest. In the second half. Okay, so we have Calgary taking the ball from their own half. They're trying to build up, but once again not able to find anyone on their offensive line to make a threat. Back to Moore. Moore tries to play it straight to, I think it's... plays it out to the left to Gray. Gray takes shot and not going to threaten the goal, though. It's not bad. Not bad at all, but you need to get a lot closer than that. Gray, that was good work from Gray. She gets the ball on the left-hand side and just tries to play, um, a pretty good-looking shot on goal, but it doesn't get on goal. It's not on target. It's like the third shot total, Calgary. That really shows the challenges they've had, Calgary, all game. Yeah, that was really silly, to be honest. Like, all of the attack-minded folks are out for Ottawa, which, I mean, technically, um, I'm not too. I mean, it's not as bad as Calgary. Calgary has basically taken out their whole front line, uh, and are struggling massively to create anything. At least Ottawa has had, like, I think 17 shots in total. So yeah, it's unfortunate that they don't have a lot of depth in forward line. I mean, it's pretty. Benati is not. I wouldn't say is a very, you know, aggressive presence in the box. She's very good playmaker, but she's not an aggressive presence in the box. So it is not ideal, but it's still, they're still able to create things. It's all relative, I guess. I mean, if I was Calgary, I would be more worried right now. Anyways, Ottawa has the ball. Harris has the ball in defense. They're going to take some time. So we're going to play to Liv Scott. Liv Scott's looking to her right and finding Adamek. Adamek takes some time. She tries to find, I think that's Fridland in the midfield, and she loses it and concedes a free kick. Actually, Liv Scott concedes a free kick, trying to win the ball back. Now Calgary has the ball. It's with Gray. Gray's done good to keep the ball in. Plays the ball in. Not a bad ball. And was that Stewart or? Oh, that was a missed. Yeah, that was Stewart. To be honest, Gray does really well to keep the ball on the left hand side, and then puts a ball into the box, and it rolls to Stewart, and she tries to take a shot, and just plays it over. That should have been 1-0 for Calgary. Really, it's a terrible miss. Now that you see it's on replay, that really was a terrible miss. So I hope they can really work on that finishing, and that final third of Calgary is really. I keep saying this, and I keep being a broken record, but you can't just hope on set pieces every game. You have to have better cohesion in open play and better finishing. And of all the teams I've seen till this point, I really worry for Calgary in that sense. They're very effective in whenever they get dead ball situations, because they have some very good talent on Doherty Howard and Michaela Moore. But once they get to creating chances on open play, it's been very lacking. Let's see what we are kind of stopping for injury. Actually, I'm not sure who it was. Yeah, it's Liv Scott, actually. Wonder what happened to her. This is going to be challenging for her. Calgary. Ottawa, because they've already lost Holland to injury, and losing Liv Scott. Oh, I don't think they have, but let's hope it's just a bit of a knock. All right. It's going to be Eriksson who's going to take the goal kick, and we're going to restart. So let's see. Yeah, that's not good news, Craig, for Ottawa. I mean, the injuries are piling up at this point. Holland and now Liv Scott, not good. I mean, even for Calgary's not. I mean, Calgary's going to be worried about Doherty Howard, but at least it's still just one, and it's also in midfield. Another bit of injury now. This time it's Chu, but that's more of a knock than an injury, really. So Chu's down. We're 7 minutes into the added time. It might actually be another 2 or 3 minutes because we've had another couple of stoppages. Anyways, it was more as a consequence. Chu went down as a consequence of Gray getting the ball on the right-hand side and trying to make a run, and she kind of gets She kind of clatters with Chu more than anything. It was not a intentional foul or anything. Anyways, Ottawa has the ball and boots it up and gives it to Calgary on the other side. So Calgary's going to build. So let's see what they can do with that. It's once again on the left-hand side of Calgary, and they're going to put the ball in a steer, I think. Oh, it gets called for offside. Oh, that can hurt. That can hurt because that was a pretty good-looking chance. Anyways, now Ottawa has the ball. Ottawa's going to take some time, try to play it to Fridland, but well defended by Storty, so now it's a throw-in. They're showing a replay of that chance that Calgary had, but not sure exactly what happened there. But anyways, it's going to be Lofthouse for Ottawa. She's got a throw-in. She's trying to play Pritamin, but it doesn't really go anywhere. And now it's back to Calgary, who is not able to build anything and ends up, well, they get lucky with a free kick actually on the midway line. So it's going to be Calgary with a free kick with more pretty much at the midway line, the center line. So we'll see if they're going to put a ball. Yeah, they're going to obviously put a long ball in because it's 9 minutes of the 9 added time. So unless they add maybe 1 or 2 minutes extra for injuries. All right, it's a ball straight into the box, gets headed away to Savitsky. Savitsky plays it in and once again gets cleared away. So great work there by Ottawa. Ottawa's is on the break now, but I don't think it's going to amount to anything because Calgary plays it all the way back to their goalie who clears it. So that's it. That's pretty much the end of the game, and it's been a story of what could have been for both teams. They showed some promise, but in spades, really. It wasn't any consistent promise, to be very honest. Like there were some sections of the game where you had Calgary doing some great things on the right-hand side through Thurton. You had some good sections of the game for Ottawa doing some good things through Chu and Downing, but really there wasn't much of a consistent effort for longer periods of time, and that was the problem. And I think Calgary, of the two teams, I would be more worried about Calgary because first of all, they're the home team. They really had that backing of the crowd. They could have done a lot better, and more than just that, they were pretty struggling in their defense. On their offense. The Stewart, Gray didn't really do anything once they came on, and even before that, Johnson, Griffith, and Thurton weren't really doing much either. So that's the biggest takeaway for me. Ottawa should be proud for what they've done. They did a pretty good job overall. Unfortunately, they couldn't really find that finishing touch, but that's okay. I'm sure they'll find that touch over time. So anyways, it's been a very it's been a privilege to have all the folks who've listened in, and I hope this has helped all the folks to at least get some version of the game, and let's just hope that they have more streaming for future games. So until I see you all next time, be good, be kind, and be you. Take care.